Hey gang, it's Nick. It's Monday, Monday night at about 10:40, and wanted to make you a week video for this next week right here. Um, I'm sorry I didn't really make a week video for this wonder from last week, and I thought I did. Um, I know I sent out an email, and then I realized I didn't. So I'm sorry for that, you guys. If you're waiting for that to do the work, I just want to apologize. And um, yeah, I did this just my mistake entirely. But in this video, I just want to first of all just start with that apology and say I've only received 4 submissions. It's Monday night, so it's not that late, but I've only received 4 submissions for the Module 3 question, reflection and question. And just really want you guys to take the time to get this done soon, because this week you do have a project due, and that just takes quite a lot of time. So this week your Module 3 share project is due, and I'm not doing the rough draft this week. I'm just doing a final draft. But in this video, I'll change a little bit. I'm going to explain to you kind of what I'm hoping for this project. It's going to be a little bit easier than the previous ones, because I'm not giving you that extra week, and then go from there. But make sure you get your reflection and question done first so that I can read what your plan is. I can give you feedback. I will get that feedback sent to you very soon. I just finished grading our discussion on reading interventions. Again, I'm sorry I'm behind. It's been a really, really busy few weeks. Yeah, you don't need my excuses. You need me to get it done. So I won't tell you why. It's just been busy. And then I have 2 new graphic novel posts that I need to read and grade, but I will be caught up on grading here soon. But just make sure you get that reflection and question done. I really, really appreciate that. So your Module 3 project is this week. It's due Sunday night. I realize it's Easter, and I'm not a big fan of that. I'm actually kind of hoping that you guys are able to enjoy the Easter holiday, whether you're religious or not. I'm hoping you can enjoy that with family and loved ones or good friends. Whether you do something special or not, whether it's significant to you or not, I just don't really like having a due date on a day that could be very significant to some of you. So I'm going to change it right here, right now. So your due date, rather than Sunday, let's edit this. You get to see how Moodle works. Rather than it being April 9th, I'm going to give you guys Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I think that's fair. Yeah. You have till Tuesday now. So, yeah, there's that. So this final draft is due Tuesday. And with all of our share projects, you are going to look at these choices, look at our rubric as well, pick the one that you're comfortable with, and essentially take your wonder, what you're wondering, build that plan, do that primary research, and then, of course, complete a project to share. Of course, I'm trying to figure out if this is asking too much or too little, but to make it a little bit easier for this week, what I want you guys to really think about is I'm not going to worry too much about these minimums, the 8-minute minimum, 2-page minimum, 1,500 word minimum, 3-page website. I'm actually not going to worry about minimums this week, because I'm not giving you as much time to work on it as I did last module, and because it's a holiday week in a way. All I'm going to ask for is that you choose one of these, and whatever half of the minimum is is what you hit. So a 1-page formal essay, a 4-minute speech, 4-minute presentation, 750-word personal essay, 4-minute audio speech, 1-page website. That's a short website. And that's kind of how I'm going to grade it fairly this week, is I'm going to cut these lengths in half. If you don't watch this video, you won't know that. But I'll send out an email with this as well, just so that you guys, I want to keep it a level playing field. So I'll send this out in an email form too. But since it's a holiday week, it's a short week academically, I am extending the due date, but I just want this to get done well. And I care so much more about quality than quantity. I just really want to see you thinking is the big thing, and doing some homework. So yeah, so that's the change to the schedule. I'm really excited for the module 4. As you can see, it's a little different. But before we get that, I want to get some feedback to you guys about how module 3 is going. Module 3, I think, is probably the one I'm most familiar with the content in. We have this idea, right, of the student who is in an upper age, maybe a 7th grader or a high schooler, and the student can't read, or at least can't read fluently. Maybe to some of you that seems crazy. Maybe some of you it's very close to home. In reality, there's a lot of kids in the upper ages who cannot read, or cannot read and comprehend what they read. It's a higher percentage than we would care to admit, but as I mentioned, in order to achieve practical literacy, a student needs to read at a 6th or 7th grade level, and less than half of the population is below that. So 50% of people do not read at the middle school level when they're in middle school. And as we know, if a student isn't to that 3rd grade mark, they don't have reading skills to build on reading by reading. They need something other than reading to get good at reading. They need phonemic awareness, as Kirsten points out in some of her discussion posts. They're going to need phonics and fluency, comprehension, vocab, as Casey talks about in her podcast. And how do we do this fairly? How do we get kids to fairly and feel like human beings in a classroom, and learn to read at a higher age, So that's what this is all about. And I think this selection of material is really, really good. The reason the graphic novel is thrown in is because that's sometimes viewed as the solution. Oh, you've got your kid who can't read in 7th grade, give them a graphic novel, they'll learn to read. I just disagree with that. And I'm now showing my hand. I don't like graphic novels. I love reading them for myself. I love enjoying the art. I love seeing the expression. But as far as a reading tool, I think they're very poor, because a kid can use the pictures for 3Qing rather than decoding the words. So I think it's almost a reinforcement of reading recovery at a 7th grade level, though. That's my opinion. I've kept it to myself. Now I'm sharing it. So I wanted you guys to read a graphic novel, and I've really liked reading your posts on your graphic novels. I've read a lot of the ones that you've brought up. I know a few of you did Amulet, and that's a classic. A few of you did some others that I'm familiar with. Those are great. I think we got to be careful to not let graphic novels become a crutch. I really do. As I was reading your discussion on interventions, one thing really, really stood out to me. I think we're pretty much all on the same page. We're in a tough spot as educators and as schools, because we all acknowledge that the best case scenario is to get reading specialists in every reading class, like Casey, right? Casey's an amazing teacher. She's amazing at her job. She has a few small classes. Otherwise, she's in the class working with kids. It's amazing. Her school makes a ton of money off of oil. That's how they can afford her. is oil money. Not every school has oil money, okay? Glendive Public Schools does not have oil money. But one student brought something up that I just really, really liked and wanted to highlight. I think Brittany was the one that brought up that Glendive Public Schools has Fridays off. And they're supposed to use those Fridays to help kids come in and learn what they're missing. And a lot of times they don't, but that's besides the point. But I was just thinking, Fridays are what a day. I mean, for reading intervention here in Glendive. You got a group of kids that can't read. Get them in every Friday for 2 hours, working with a really good reading teacher and a really good reading curriculum. And it's not enough time to completely solve the problem, but 2 hours a week could do some great damage. I really believe that. So Brittany, thanks for bringing up like a fourth option, so to speak. Really, really good idea there. Really loved a lot of your thoughts, though. I've enjoyed reading these and responding to them. Please read my responses if you have not already. Take a lot of time on them, of course, and I really appreciate your guys' insight. That gets me so excited for the reflection and questions. I know you guys have great questions. I know that you're formulating questions that need to be answered. You're asking questions of your parents and of your friends and of your siblings of what was it like to be a 7th grader who struggled to read? Well, how do you wish you were treated? And I want to know. And that's what the share is going to allow us to do. So I'm excited for this unit. I'm excited for this module where outcomes. So please do your best to finish these things on time. And one final note that I just feel like is very, very important to throw in. As we talk about these students who are struggling to read at upper ages, we need to be really good, not just as educators, but as people, of acknowledging that the situation that they are in is often outside of their control. And I think that Kendra brought this up in her post. We need to be very good at acknowledging that when a kid's really struggling to read, sometimes it's reading disabilities, or it's a behavioral difficulty such as ADD, ADHD. Sometimes it's dyslexia. We have a student in this class who's dyslexic. Okay? We have to be very good at acknowledging there are factors outside of kids' control keeping them from reading. I never, ever, ever want to come across as a reading specialist who can sit down with a 7th grader and teach him to read, sit down with a 10th grader and teach him to read. No, I can't do that. You can't do that. We have to start is, listen, you're a 10th grader who really struggles to read, but it's okay because I acknowledge that you didn't put yourself in this position. Okay? I think as we grow in that kind of empathy for students, interventions work. It starts with relationships, and then they can work. Casey brings that up in the podcast. So, yeah, got to start there. We have to start there. So I think it's important that I said it. Okay, you have a new due date. You have an alternate Module 3 project that's shorter. Please get it done on time. And then the Module 4 will be our final module for the class. And it's going to be a little bit different than the previous modules. It's I'll explain it next week. I won't jump ahead. Thank you guys for the amazing work that you're doing. And as always, please feel free to reach out to me or stop by the main office. Really do appreciate your guys' time.